Hello, my name is Collection Connoisseur. I collect digital thingamabobs and video games. Today, I'm playing Monster Train. Today, I plan to do an expert challenge, and I admit I did have to look up how you do that, because I looked all over challenges to find where expert challenges are, and they were apparently under standard run. Not what I was expecting. So we start a standard run, and there's a new button for expert challenges. It looks like I still get to pick my clan combination, so we're going to go back to Umbra Melting. And let me figure out which one of these we're going to do for Umbra Melting real quick. So last time we did the standard champion for Umbra, so we're going to do the exiled champion for Umbra. And the last time we did that, we did the standard champion, or the standard starting cards for the melting, so we're going to do exiled. So exiled Umbra, exiled melting. That's actually pretty interesting because, well, I guess we don't get to reform the Primordium unless the Primordium dies instead of getting eaten. Okay, that's a little weird. Anyway, we will click the expert challenge button and see what that does. Okay, there's one option which is no challenge. Aha. Okay, so there's a bunch of mutators. Well, in some ways I want to pick one that goes well with the two clans that we chose. Ooh, add 12 additional random cards to your starting deck. Merchants provide a card duplication service. Now that's pretty interesting, and has nothing to do with which clans you chose. Let's do that. Controlled Chaos, the first one. Controlled Chaos. Alright, let's depart and see if we can defeat our first expert challenge. It looks like one of the points about expert challenges is you cannot change your covenant rank. You must be at covenant rank 25 for expert challenges. That makes sense. Let's depart. So merchants provide a card duplication service is interesting. We need to think about that as we're going through. Seraph the Diligent is our boss. Seraph consumes cards, consumes the spells that we play. But we also have a lot of random cards in our starting deck. We're going to have a big starting deck. Arcus Darkness Incarnate has the Blinding and Looming Dark shards. Blinding is annoying because I think that works against morsels. If we play a morsel, it dazed our other units, which is pretty bad. Yeah, I think that's the worst Arcus Darkness Incarnate combination for when you're playing the Umbra. And Daedalus the Professor, constructed explosives explode twice. Alright, so far we've got Packed Morsels, Wicklash, and Emberforge. Emberforge is interesting. The other two are pretty nice. I like those as starting cards. Let's see what else we get, though. So, what are the 12 additional ones? We didn't get to see them. Alright, so we've got to go through and see them. We've got a Fatal Melting. So that's really nice with the Umbra and Melting. A Fatal Melting is perfect. Feast is a little weird. Forever Consumed, I don't really like that much. We've got Formless Child, which is fine. Grovel, fine. Hello Drippings, Immortal Trade. I mean, it's pretty random. It's a pretty random set of cards, honestly. I do like having Molten Encasement. I think Molten Encasement can be quite good. And the Wicklashes. Okay. Oh, and a Space Prism. So we do have Space Prism, which adds a space, and we've got Emberforge, which adds Ember. So in some senses, we could have lots of space and lots of Ember, which I don't know what we're going to do with that, but I'm thinking about maybe that would be good. Let's get our upgrade to our champion. One of the questions I have here is Have we gone down all of one of these? I don't know if we've ever gone down either of these actually all the way. Stalwart Snack is the hardest one to use, but also Stalwart Snack is somewhat interesting because we've got Reform available, so having more buffet on our Primordium means that the Primordium will more likely die and we'll be able to reform it. I don't know how useful it is to reform the Primordium, because if you reform it, it still has, like, it only has one burnout, so it only gets to get eaten once more. I don't know. But I'm interested. I'm interested in going down Stalwart Snack, so let's do it. It's also pretty nice with the Wicklash, because we can Wicklash our champion, which applies burnout, which means that we could reform the champion and apply more burnout, and giving that champion the attack gives it to the other thing that eats it too. Spells get an extra upgrade slot. It's pretty good early. It's pretty good early for spells to get an extra upgrade slot. The one downside is that we have so many spells. So how are we going to really use that effect? I don't know. I still think it's quite good. Let's take it. And move on. Alright, first battle. I think we've got a pretty good deck for the first battle. Getting an additional 12 random cards does really help with the first one. So I'm going to turn this one on. Which I would have anyway, but I think we're going to be stronger than we normally are in the first battles. So, what do we have for our Primordium to make better? We primarily just have Train Stewards, don't we? Okay, I guess we're going to do Train Steward, Primordium, both at the top, probably? And unfortunately, I'm trying to think of if there's a way that we can really avoid the Ember Drain, and I don't think there's a really good way for us to avoid Ember Drain. So what we're going to do is we're going to play our Primordium. We're going to put the Primordium in front, because we actually kind of want it to die, which is unusual. We kind of want it to die. Let's make the top bigger so we can put lots of morsels there too. A damage shield. We want the damage shield on the Train Steward that's going to get big and strong. And we got an Ant Umbra and a Magma Morsel. Great. Both of those can be eaten by the Train Steward as well. So the Train Steward is going to get big and strong. And we need something better than a Train Steward for us to make big and strong. That's one of the things that we need in our deck, which is pretty normal. I think the Plink is excellent at the bottom here. And I just realized that Emberforge, we didn't really put a place that we could put Emberforge. We could put it in the center. Let's do this first. We got a Rebel Morsel. A Rebel Morsel is great. Let's play the Rebel Morsel. I'm thinking we play the Emberforge in the center because, you know, these normal enemies do so little damage that we probably won't have it die. We could always put something in front of it, perhaps. Alright, so we've got tons of Ember this turn. And nothing has died yet. So Primitive Mole does nothing in this one. It might do something if the Primordium dies. Which it could die, perhaps. I don't know. We're gonna have so many morsels though. Let's start by putting tons of morsels in our hand. So there's a whole bunch of morsels. Then we're going to plink. We're gonna plink here, of course. And we're also going to plink up here, I guess. And then we have Ant Umbra Assault, which can just do 3 damage to something. We don't want you to kill something. which means we could put an Umbra morsel in front. So you don't kill anything. Oh, except the spikes. The spikes are terrible. The spikes mean that he kills something anyway. Huh. Do we want to destroy our own Primordium? Because we could. If we destroyed our own Primordium, you wouldn't kill anything even with your spikes. Is that good for us? I guess it's better than just the Primordium dying. Alright, so now you're taking 18 damage. We can put... We also kind of don't want to put anything in front of this because the spikes cause him to gain a damage shield if we do. So the only thing we can put there is an Umbra morsel usefully. Yeah, all of our morsels are terrible. And I don't want to play Primitive Mold this turn. I guess what this means is that we play all of our morsels at the bottom. I don't want to play Primitive Mold on the champion because we've got 3 more Primitive Molds. I'd rather play the champion at another time. And how many of these do we actually want to play? Because we could completely fill the bottom, which does not seem worthwhile. Let's play 4 of them. Oh, maybe we only play 3. Because then we could still fit a Train Steward. Okay. Whatever. We're taking damage. Unfortunately, we're taking a fair amount of damage on this first one. I said that this would be perfectly fine, basically, and I was wrong. We've actually taken 9 damage already, which is pretty sad. I think we want to Wicklash our Train Steward up here a whole lot. If we Wicklash, and Hallowed Drippings, then he has tons of burnout. The Feast is absolutely pointless. So let's just enter. We got a Weight of Contrition because he killed one of our morsels. Right. That was an unfortunate thing that happened. We've got Mortal Entrapment, which could Dazed change the Sighted, but I don't know what that actually accomplishes for us to do that. I certainly want to play Mortal Encasement in front of my Train Steward. And I guess we want to also Primitive Mold. Primitive Mold could get back morsels. Or the Primordium. We actually wanted the Primordium, but it kind of doesn't matter too much, so let's do Primitive Mold. We got a Magma Morsel with Burnout 1, so we'll place that here. Placing this here first before playing the Mortal Encasement is nice because we don't get the Ember Drain. And we can actually apply Lifesteal to you and Ember Drain, which doesn't do anything for us. Right. I think we just do Weight of Contrition. I think that our Train Steward wins already, but I'm not completely sure, and I'm thinking about doing this Immortal Trade on it. If I do the Immortal Trade, we have no Ember next turn. But also the Immortal Trade might be all that we need. It might be all that we need. So let's do Weight of Contrition Immortal Trade on our Train Steward. I guess we have 1 Ember next turn, which is good enough to play this Weight of Contrition so that we don't take any more damage. Alright. Well, we won the first one. We did take 9 damage, which was unfortunate. I did not like taking that 9 damage. 12 damage. Ooh, why was it 12? Oh, the 3 thorns hit us twice, and the 3 attack hit us twice. Even worse. So we do have a lot of stuff in our deck already. which makes me wonder if taking any of these is worthwhile. If I take any of these, it might be making of a morsel. It might be making of a morsel. Another packed morsel is interesting. The packed morsels give us a ton of morsels. And it's also something that consumes already. I don't know, let's take another packed morsels. Let's have this be heavy packed morsel run. Wicked Blaze. Ooh. So Wicked Blaze works really well if we reform our champion. I like that. That goes along with the primitive molds as ways to reform our champion. And this one we can specifically reform our champion. I kind of like that. Memories of the Melted is also very useful, but I don't really know what to do with the Ember. We could spend it on Forever Consumed, but what does that accomplish? There's just very little chance that we're going to draw this at the right time, so let's take Wicked Blaze. I definitely want a unit. I don't know which unit, which type of unit I want, but I definitely want a unit. The Lightstone Casing makes me kind of want to go to the Merchant of Magic. So let's do that. Merchant of Magic is where we're going. Let's get a unit first. Actually, let's look at the Divine Temple. We see Extreme Stone and Purge Stone. Let's look here. We see Permafrost, Power Stone, Ember Stone. And the card duplicator is 90. That's pretty cheap, honestly. We're not going to use that early. We're going to use that late. So, Umbra unit. I really like the Overgorger. If we get an Overgorger, it's going to become really, really strong. The only downside is it takes up 3 space, which is a lot of space. I think that's better than the Shadow Eater. Let's take the Overgorger. Okay, so we can gorge a lot, is the idea here. Freestone is very powerful, especially in a deck this large. Power Stone, we kind of really want a Power Stone on a Plink to make the Plink worthwhile. So let's make one Plink worthwhile. Freestone. What do we want Freestone on? Mortal Entrapment is one of the ideas here for Freestone. Because you can't play it very often, but when you want to play it, you really do. Wicked Blaze is also pretty nice. I think I want to put it on Mortal Entrapment, though. So Mortal Entrapment, you get a Freestone. And then we could purge a card or get an Emberstone. Let's buy the Emberstone while we can. So, Emberstone. Where do we want the Emberstone? Obviously on Mortal Entrapment. But how much do I care compared to other things? I want the Emberstone on probably Mortal Entrapment or a Fatal Melting. Fatal Melting is also pretty good. Let's put it on Mortal Entrapment. Make it cost 2. Alright, well, I think that went okay. I do want to take the Extreme Stone. I don't know what I want to put it on. We could Engage Pact. We could Engage Pact one of these already. The Formless Child is an interesting thing to Engage Pact because I don't know how much I care about the Formless Child in the deck. Its essence is weird. It's a very weird essence. Works very well if we could put it on our champion, but we can't. The Molten Encasement is essentially the same as what it does. We could get rid of the Ember Forge. You know what? What if we got rid of the Ember Forge and put it on the Overgorger? The real downside to that is I want to put other things on the Overgorger. I'd rather sacrifice something else to the Overgorger and have the Ember Forge sacrifice go on something other than Overgorger. Okay, I think the answer to this is we don't want to do this yet, but we probably want to do it in the future. Extreme Stone. Goes really well on Umbra Assault. It also goes really well on Plink. I think I want to make another Plink really useful. Extreme Stone is a pretty extreme way to do that, but I think I want to. We could also get a Purge Stone and purge one of the Plinks. I don't know. Let's not do that. Okay, let's go into the next one. I don't feel like we're doing great yet. Enemy units enter with armor 10, but we get the unit draft. I do really want the unit draft. I think we want 1 or 2 units that we feel good about putting in the deck. So the Overgorger and the Primordium go at the top. That's a definite. The downside here, of course, is that we don't get to put anything else with the Overgorger and the Primordium because they take up all the space. Until we get that Space Prism. Still, we do it. Overgorger and Primordium. Primordium goes in front. And then we're definitely going to Plink down here. Don't know what I'm going to do with the morsels. I guess we're going to put a morsel on floor 2, because why not? And be done with this turn. Alright. Don't think we've got a very strong start. The Molten Encasement would be great to have at the top, and we can't do that these days. The Umbra Assault, the only thing it can defeat is the Collector. I certainly want to play the Ember Forge. So the Ember Forge is going to go in the center. It's going to get some attack from our Magma Morsel. I don't really know what I want to do with the other Ember that I have. I guess we just play Umbra Assault and defeat the Collector, get the money. And then we might just want to play these and have them die. Because there doesn't seem to be much downside to that, and actually one of them survives. Alright. Fine. So Forever Consumed could do a fair amount of damage. 150 for that matter. Right now, you are dying from the Primordium, who is dying doing that to you. Okay. I'm okay with that as long as we draw a primitive mold. Yeah, so that's not too bad. So let's play the Plink up here. It was supposed to hit that one of the times. Unfortunately, we're going to get 1 damage because we got very unlucky with our Plink. There's no reason not to play Packed Morsels, so we play that. And there's no reason not to play Forever Consumed. Wicked Blaze gets back a morsel, actually. What? Gets back a morsel. Interesting. The Forever Consumed defeats you even if it's only played with 2. So I guess we reform a morsel? And we get to choose which morsel we reform. I guess we're going to reform the Magma Morsel. And have our Ember Forge get a whole bunch of power. Crazy. Now, Forever Consumed defeats you. And we're going to take 1 damage. For the rest of these, we'll put them at the bottom. The only thing that we have in here to play is really Trained Stewards. The Formless Child is worse than a Trained Steward to play, so we want to keep space for a Trained Steward at the bottom. I guess that means this. We really need more space. Having more space is very important for this deck. We take the 1 damage, very sad about that. Hey, we got a Train Steward. The Train Steward doesn't just die. Oh, actually we have Feast, so we can put the Train Steward and then Feast. Wonderful. So Train Steward, Feast. Let's play the Primitive Mold to see what we get first. So the Primordium we certainly want to put at the top, right? Because we want you to eat as much as possible. The Train Steward, though, is also a decent unit these days. And the Primordium would be eaten multiple times by that Train Steward. The Primordium has Burnout 1. Never mind. He doesn't get eaten multiple times. I guess let's play the Grovel first. And we want to play the Grovel at the top. So, I guess we play 2 Morsel Jewelers at the bottom for the Train Steward, and we play the Primordium at the top. Primordium at the top. Go in front so that we don't lose our damage shield. Oh, wait a minute. Why are you burning out instead of getting eaten? Did we need to put you in the back for you to get eaten? Oh no. I think I messed that up. Oh, he did get eaten. Okay. It had the symbol that he was going to burn out, but it said that he got eaten. And we can tell whether that happened or not based on the attack value. Yes, he did get eaten. Great. We've got 2 Primitive Molds, we have 2 Packed Morsels, we have so little space to put all that stuff. Let's start with the Primitive Mold. We got a Morsel Jeweler. Alright, Packed Morsel time. We get so many Morsel Excavators, and some Magma Morsels, and an Umbra Morsel. I don't know if we're going to survive, honestly. Oh, we have another Primitive Mold. I guess let's play another Primitive Mold, see what we get. We got a Train Steward, which takes up too much space for us to care to play it. So you deal a little bit of damage. We can put 1 Morsel with you. If we gave you the Morsel Excavator, you would get Lifesteal, which I think is good. I think that means you deal some more damage. You kill the front one only. Okay, well, you know, fine. Oh, he kills the front. Oh, right. I guess the only thing I could have done is the Morsel Jeweler or Morsel or the Umbra Morsel for it to not die on the spikes. Okay, well anyway, that front one dies now, which is fine, but we still have to do a lot more damage than I feel like we can do. The Lifesteal does nothing because we don't get enough Lifesteal for you to hit while you're damaged. So I think we need a Magma Morsel. And then the real question is, do we do a Morsel Jeweler, or a Magma Morsel, or an Umbra Morsel? I don't know, but I think the Magma Morsel is the best. Another damage shield doesn't do much when you're taking so many little bits of damage, like this 1 damage is going to hit a damage shield. The damage shield doesn't do a lot. Let's do another Magma Morsel. Okay, well, that was not a very good turn. Let's see what we can do next turn. Which is a very important turn, because if we're only doing 144 damage, then we lose. Primitive Mold allows us to get something back. Ooh, our Primordium. We got our Primordium back, which we get to eat twice. And we could Wicklash it so that we eat it more times. Yeah, hold on a second. So, how does Eaten work? After the next round of combat. Right, so you get to eat him like 4 times, I think. And we Wicklash it. Yeah, okay, great. You know what? The fact that we got exactly Primordium back, we could have gotten Morsel Excavator. The fact that we got exactly our champion back allowed us to win this battle. I think we would have lost any other one. Alright, we're not doing well, but we're still going. And I see a possibility for this deck. I do really like Mind Collapse. I do like Mind Collapse. We might really be able to use that Ember, and having 3 upgrades that we can put on spells could make Mind Collapse really nice. Let's take a Mind Collapse. Entombed Explosive isn't terrible. Molded is quite good for bringing our champion back. I really like the idea of bringing the champion back a whole lot. Let's take Molded. And this is the most important. What can we do? We really need to take a unit. But which unit? It could be Lady of the House. Lady of the House, we've got a lot of cards that help with the burnout for Lady of the House. Lady of the House already has 45 attack. It could go in front of something else. Lady of the House is also a pretty decent thing to put... If we sacrificed our Ember Forge, we could put that on Lady of the House, who starts with a lot of health. The other one to think about here is the Wickless Baron, because harvest abilities can be quite nice when you're playing with the Melting. And the Umbra helps there too, not as much, but it definitely helps. Huh. I won't take the Wickless Tycoon. I think we need a unit to make big and strong. And I'm tempted to take either one of those. Either one is rather good. Let's take Lady of the House. And I really want to remove cards. We don't have a way to remove cards yet. Getting an artifact is really nice. Getting another unit and visiting another Merchant of Magic with our Lightstone casing is really nice, but honestly, we don't have that much money. So not having that much money kind of makes me not want to go that route. Next turn we could get an Umbra unit, but remember we can duplicate our units quite a lot. If we upgrade our units, we can duplicate them quite a lot. Okay, let's go to the right. The Pyre health is easy. Let's go to the Concealed Caverns before going to the artifacts. Ha-ho, ha-ho, alright. I really like the minor refraction here. So the major refraction would make something take up more space, which is real bad for us. The minor refraction makes our Overgorger take up only 1 space, which means the Overgorger now can have lots of morsels next to it. I like it. Alright, I think we've got something going at this point. Our Overgorger is going to become big and strong. The Volatile Gauge is not bad. Sketches of Salvation is questionable. Questionable with Umbra. Alright, don't consider that one. Iron Drop Cage, we have nothing that could use it. Volatile Gauge. Volatile Gauge could be good. Could also be bad, but it could be really good. I think I want to do the Volatile Gauge. Draw +3 each turn is pretty incredible. Capricious Reflection. That's nice. And I don't really care about Advanced Prototype. I definitely want to get rid of Train Stewards. They take up too much space. So Capricious Reflection. And let's go to the Daedalus the Professor. Double Barrel, Constructed Explosive explode twice. Not too bad. Constructed Explosive is in the center. We got the Lady of the House instead of the Overgorger first, which is unfortunate. That's unfortunate. We could play the Lady of the House with the Primordium. But of course that's not what I want to do with my Primordium, really. I could play Lady of the House in the center. Where else would I want Lady of the House? I'm not sure. Lady of the House goes well in the center. We're definitely going to play Plink. Let's play the Plink at the bottom first, see what we get. Okay. I could have played Plink in the center, but I didn't really care because Lady of the House is going to go here with a couple of morsels in front, probably. Maybe just one morsel in front. We could put both the Morsel Jewelers behind. And that might be better? I don't know. Primordium is going to go at the top, waiting for our Overgorger. With a 32-card deck, the Overgorger might not come for a little while, which is a problem. I think this one does 10 damage twice. If we put these in the back, effectively we're getting +6 health and 2 damage shield. If we put them in the front, we're effectively getting plus 20 health. So +6 health and 2 damage shield is worse than +20 health, apparently. Alright. Fine. We got our Overgorger. Perfect. Alright, Overgorger at the top. Maybe after we play Packed Morsels? Because if we play Packed Morsels first, we could get a Morsel. So, Packed Morsels first, then Overgorger. Unfortunately, we can't afford Feast as well as that. Because it would be nice. It would be nice, but here we go. Packed Morsels first. We get some Morsels. The Morsel Miner is going to be the one that has Ember Drain. Overgorger goes in the back. And let's give it a damage shield. And then you can have life steal because you're taking some damage. Getting a life steal gives you that life back. Alright. Not too bad. Oh, and I did not notice that we would kill the back one with our morsel too. Ooh, we have Mortal Entrapment, which we could play on the boss if we wanted. We also have the Molten Encasement that we could put in front of this. Interesting. The Molten Encasement is quite good. Although, our Primordium would still die with the Molten Encasement. Whereas if we played 2 Morsels with Packed Morsels, it wouldn't die. We're certainly going to play Mortal Entrapment, but we don't need to play it this turn because it has the Freeze Stone. Right. That's nice. So what do we play at the end of all of that? I think that we want probably to play Packed Morsels and something that costs 2, which might be Ember Forge so that we get lots of Ember in the future turns. Sure. Let's play the Ember Forge at the bottom. Let's play... Oh, you're burning out. Oh no. I did not want you to burn out. Should have watched your burnout a little bit closer. We can always Wicked Blaze you back if we want to, or Molded you back. Okay, well, Packed Morsels is next. We put 2 morsels in front so that the Constructed Explosive kills them. Because we would rather you get the Primordium benefit, probably. And the Primordium stays alive for the following turns. What do we want to play as the morsel for you? Well, you don't really benefit from a morsel, do you? What do we want you to have as a morsel? I guess an Antumbra morsel goes for you. And then we play the other 2 at the top and front, so the Constructed Explosive kills those, and not the Primordium. Okay, it's going. My Overgorger is at least getting very strong for the future, because of the permanent buffs that it gets every time it eats. I would like it to eat a little bit more often than it is, but it's doing something. The +1 space is not bad. We do have a fair amount of Ember this turn, so I think we start with a Plink at the top. We did get 1 morsel, and we could put that morsel in front so that it dies, and then both of these die? No. Not unless we get another morsel. Or something. We could add Wicklash to the Primordium. That's not too bad. Let's put this in front. We know we want to do that. We probably want to do Space Prism. I need more Ember in this deck. And I think we want to do Wicklash on our Primordium. And then Space Prism at the top. I think that's better than playing... Oh, wait a minute. Mind Collapse. This is Mind Collapse. Oh, I thought this was the other X cost card that we have. Well, this being Mind Collapse changes a lot, because we Mind Collapse you, which means we get more Ember, which means we can play something other than Space Prism if we want, such as Molded to get back my Lady of the House. I think that's worth it. Getting back Lady of the House. Sure. So reform Lady of the House. Now Lady of the House has Burnout 4, and you can deal a lot of damage right here. You do get hit twice by the Constructed Explosive, which I don't like. But, you know, you take what you can. Now, if only we can defeat that one that has 2 health in the front. Ooh, there was a there was a Conduit Infiltrator that I did not notice at all. Okay, the Conduit Infiltrator was bad. We do have a Plink, which is good right now at the top. Plink at the top probably gets us 2 morsels and kills 2 things. Start there. Did it hit this guy? I think it hit this guy for 1, which was sad. We could kill another thing with Antumbra Assault and add 2 morsels. And we could defeat you, although at this point these are slightly more dangerous, I guess? I don't know. They're not really that more dangerous. Let's do Antumbra Assault on you. And then we got an Antumbra Morsel, which is good. We could put that in front, and it could take most of the damage, which means our Primordium gets eaten 1 more time, which is good. We are only killing the front one. We could kill 1 more by playing a Magma Morsel Actually, we've got one Ember, so we might as well play Primitive Mold to see what we get first. Ooh, an Ant Umbra morsel that can withstand all of these attacks. Is that right? 2, 5, 8, 9? Yes. So you can actually withstand all of those attacks. Wait a minute, does that benefit us? We get to eat one more time, but we only still kill the front one. Let's eat one more time. Let's make our deck better for the future and take the 3 damage that we're going to take here. Next. The Constructed Explosive kills you real fast, which means putting morsels in front doesn't really do much of anything. So I think that means that we put our morsels here. And we'll give you a Magma Morsel and a Morsel Jewel. Okay. We're taking 3 damage. I think this is the first damage that we're taking in this one. And it's only 3. So it's not too bad, but still, I did not like it. We got a couple of Whiplashes and a Primitive Mold. Let's play the Primitive Mold first. Ooh, we also got Plink. This Plink is really good. Okay, let's play the Primitive Mold first. We got our Ember Forge back. How useless. Of all the things we could get back. Alright, let's play the Plink. Hopefully it hits the front guy. It did. That means that we get to Magma Morsel up here one more time. And the Mind Collapse does 3 damage, which would be good except that you have a spell shield, a damage shield. So we definitely played Magma Morsel. We're going to play the Magma Morsel here, which does not kill you because you have a damage shield. We can change that. We can change that with Mind Collapse. So we shall. Now we've got the Ember Forge, which we could put at the bottom to deal 5 damage to the boss, or we could put at the top to prevent damage to this guy. I guess we'll put him at the top. Okay. You know, that's fine. I probably should have done Whiplash on you. I didn't really think about that. I don't recall what we spent Ember on, because what costs Ember is random every single time. Our Molten Encasement costs 3. But I guess we're just going to play Mortal Entrapment next turn. And that will basically take care of you, I think. So what do? We can't get morsels. All we can do is deal some damage. I guess we play Hallowed Drippings. Hallowed Drippings to give you lots of burn health, so that you die instead of what you were doing before, and then we could put a Train Steward behind you. Does behind help? Is behind better than in front? I don't know. I'm not sure, but I don't think it matters that much, so I'll just do this. Now our Mortal Entrapment that we've held in our hand forever. We get to play it this turn. We don't even need to, but we are going to. And we win. Oh, I should have played morsels so that we could eat them. Ah. Should have got the permanent buffs. Oh well. I forgot about the permanent buffs that we could get there. Holdover with Shroud Mitosis. Oh, that's incredible. That's really good. We will take that. I mean, the Kindle is pretty nice too, honestly, but we're going to take Shroud Mitosis with a holdover on it. The Alloyed Construct with an Immortal Stone, kind of pointless. The Morsel Maker. The Morsel Maker is, or Morsel Master is really nice too. Let's take a Morsel Master. I would prefer that it was a Morsel Maker, honestly, but I like that too. So Most likely I want Light of Seraph, but Bell's Remorse is also good, and Hurdle's Compound is the normal thing that we want. But we have so much reason for having more space. So let's take the Light of Seraph. Do I want to duplicate any card yet? I think what we're going to end up doing is duplicate our Overgorger after we have made it really, really strong with gorging many, many times. And we're just going to duplicate that thing a whole lot near the end. But I really do want the Unstable Vortex. So we might not duplicate anything, really. Is there something else in our deck that I really would prefer to duplicate? We haven't upgraded much. We've upgraded the Mortal Entrapment. I guess the Mortal Entrapment is pretty decent. The Morsel Master could technically be doubled. The Plink that we've upgraded is pretty decent. I don't think we want to duplicate Shroud Mitosis. We could also duplicate Space Prism. I don't know. We've got actually some good duplicate targets. Let's go over here. We want to remove 2 Train Stewards, almost certainly, but let's upgrade our champion first. So, do we want more buffet with our champion? I was considering going down that path, but honestly at this point, I think I'd rather do Superfood. So let's change over to Superfood. Get the Pyre Health, look at the Divine Temple. One of the things that I want to do here is Engage Pact. Let's start there. So we're going to Engage Pact the Ember Forge, because the Ember Forge takes up way too much space. We're going to put that effect on Lady of the House, most likely. Sacrifice this, put it on Lady of the House. Now, I'm going to look at my other things, look at the essence of things that we still have. So for example, we could sacrifice the Morsel Master in the future and put it on the Overgorger. I think we're going to do that too. True Stone is always nice. We could put a True Stone on Mind Collapse. I think that's really nice. This one having Piercing is really nice. Plus you could play it for 0 and it would deal 10 damage past any spell or damage shield. I like that. I do really like my Extreme Stones, and we could make another Plink worthwhile. I think we do. I think we're going to have a lot of pack shards. We already have 80, and we're only in ring 4. Right. We're going to have a lot of pack shards. A lot of pack shards. Let's get rid of some Train Stewards. They take up too much space. They're basically just dead weight in my deck. I know I also have dead weight in my deck, but they are equivalent to the dead weight. The Feast is getting a lot better than it was before, but the fact that it costs 0 and we have the Volatile Gauge is quite bad. Honestly, the Mind Collapse is maybe the best thing that we have, or Mortal Entrapment. The Overgorger is clearly the best, but we want to wait to duplicate that until we've made it much stronger. We really want Ember Stones on stuff, don't we? Yeah. Let's duplicate Mind Collapse. I think that is very useful with what we have. We really want some good stuff. We're going to go this way next time, if we survive. We might not survive. We've gone into extreme threat level, and we're never going to leave extreme threat level. Let's not turn on Armor Emblem. Okay, so we did get the Overgorger on turn 1, which is very nice. The Morsel Master unfortunately costs 3. We are going to sacrifice that to the Overgorger probably the next ring. So for this turn, we're just playing... We can only afford a couple of cards, is the thing. We can at least afford to play Mind Collapse, but it doesn't do much. So, Primordium Overgorger. And then Mind Collapse. It's a pretty weak first turn. Lady of the House. Lady of the House is quite good, especially because it has the Ember Forge. Oh no, we played the Primordium first, so I had 2 Ember Drain. I remember making that mistake previously, and now that I am recalled of that mistake, I'm sad that I made it again. Okay, so the guy that's making it up is very unfortunate for us that he's making it up. We're only doing 34, well, he has the regen, I guess. We could play a Packed Morsels, which would mean he doesn't kill the Primordium, which, you know, does something. The Antumbra Assault is now basically pointless. We could just put a Train Steward in front, which is kind of a weird thing that is actually worthwhile. We could do Train Steward Wicklash on our Primordium. And a Fatal Melting. I think that it's the best we can do. So let's do that. Train Steward in front. Is the Train Steward better than Packed Morsels, though? We could, instead of doing Fatal Melting, which does 0 damage, and the Train Steward, let's do Packed Morsels. Okay. Everything else is the same, though. So we're going to do the Wicklash on our champion, so that our guy gets stronger faster, and then we put something in front that we expect to die. The Morsel Excavator can go in front. And then we put something in the back that we want to be eaten. Like that one. Okay. Well, you know, you're going to deal damage to my Pyre. That's unfortunate. Ooh, we can put you here. Giving you lifesteal is actually pretty nice, although you do need to survive next turn. It looks like you do. Yeah, you survive next turn, so you get to use that lifesteal. Okay, so he hits my Pyre once, does a fair amount of damage to the Pyre, but then... Oh no! You're burning out? You gave your burnout? Oh no! We don't want to add burnout to our champion ever, because he eats the burnout? Oh no. Oh, the burnout got applied to my back unit, which is the unit that we definitely never want to have burnout. Well, that changes how I wanted to deal with my champion a whole lot, because the Wicked Blaze and all of that stuff on the champion is not very good if you get the burnout from the champion. I don't think it matters anymore, because I think with that mistake, I've already lost this run. Because we would have to bring you back multiple times in order for this to do anything. Ick. In the meantime, what do? We probably want to bring back a unit with Primitive Mold. Or with... Actually, Wicked Blaze is strictly better than Primitive Mold. So we Wicked Blaze our unit. the morsel excavator, which goes up here. It doesn't get eaten because this guy burns out. Oh no. Alright. We want to spend our 2 before we play Mind Collapse, because Mind Collapse will kill this one. Oh, we wanted to put something in front, maybe? I don't know. There's no point, right? What do we want to do? Do we plink? Let's plink. Okay, so now we play the Mind Collapse. And because everything's dying at the top, we play the Mind Collapse here, which pierces through that armor. Get me 2 more Ember. Now we can reform a unit. We can't do that. Which means our Lady of the House dies too. Granted, she has Burnout 1, so that was going to happen anyway. What in the world are we doing? I think I've royally messed this one up. Royally. Our big guy burned out because we added Burnout to him via the champion. So Formless Child is really good. Primitive Mold is kind of the same as the Formless Child. I think that we play Formless Child at the top, and then we're a little bit sad. Formless Child at the top. Play Forever Consumed so that this only hits our pyre once. We really need our guy back, and then we need to add lots of burnout to him, which is a problem. Alright, so our pyre's almost dead. It will die next turn unless we do something. We got our Primordium back, which, to be fair, has a lot of health. A great amount of health. We also got Mind Collapse, which can kill you when we have 0. Okay, so we've got something that we can do. Something. Do we still die, though? Because we have to kill one of these in order to not die. And how do we kill one of those units? This one only does 15 damage. Fatal Melting has not gotten big and strong like I hoped. I guess one of the things that we could do is play Plink, and then use Mind Collapse on whatever survives the Plink, or whichever one gets hit by Plink up here. I guess that's the only way that we potentially survive this turn. So let's Plink. And then we Mind Collapse this one, which means that our pyre does not die? It still dies, doesn't it? We have to also play a Fatal Melting. So, Primordium goes up here. It does do a lot of damage. To be fair, it does do a lot of damage. Then we play Packed Morsels to get morsel units. Would we rather play Packed Morsels or Gravel? I guess Packed Morsels is better. Very slightly? I don't know which one is actually better. Seems about the same. This one will die from the spikes. So we're going to put this one in front so it actually dies from that attack. And then we play the Morsel Miner and the Morsel Jeweler. And then we play a Fatal Melting, which makes it so that our pyre kills this one in 1 hit instead of 2. And then our pyre is still going to take damage from the spikes. but it's going to survive, at least. Oh, never mind. It died from the spikes. Well, it seems that whenever I play with the exiled champion of the Umbra, I always forget that it adds the status effects, even the bad status effects, like Ember Drain and apparently Burnout. So, we could have won that last one if I had not added Burnout to my champion, and honestly, I was intending to use the primitive molds, not the primitive molds, the Wicked Blaze, one of the things, to add attack and burnout to my champion. I was going to do that a lot, so my plan for the run was also not great, but I think I had something else going there that could have worked if I just didn't make the mistake of adding burnout to the champion that got eaten. Oh well. We will try again next time. Maybe we'll do a different expert challenge, maybe the same, not sure yet. Since this was a loss, no new Divine Winds nor Master cards. On the right, I am featuring the Clip Defender. First time I've died to one of those. Also, the Conduit Infiltrator surprised me this run. I simply didn't notice it was there until the whole row skipped the second floor. On the left, I'm featuring Overgorger, which was my primary minion this run, and giving it burnout was why I lost so quickly. I was planning to make this creature really big and then duplicate it a bunch of times. Ember Forge is a weird one. It works well early because enemies just don't kill it very fast, and then it has a high utility sacrifice effect. I liked starting with an Ember Forge. Both of these cards also hit my 10 battle threshold, and as of this run, I have brought more than 200 unique cards into 10 or more battles. Starting with 12 additional random cards did help bolster the statistic. For artifacts, I'm featuring Capricious Reflection, which gave me a Keepstone on a perfect card to have a Keepstone. I also took Volatile Gauge, which was an interesting choice. I didn't last long enough to see whether this choice was good or not. The randomized costs hurt, but +3 draw is very strong. I have more detail on my tracking sheet, link in the video description. New episodes every Saturday, and thanks for watching.